Welcome back, everyone. Now, everybody loves breakfast for dinner, and our next guest is taking a steak dinner and turning it into the perfect breakfast. From Fleming's Prime Steakhouse, please welcome Chef Mark Ogren to our home. Welcome, Mark. We're so excited to have you.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
I mean, look at that in front of Cameron and Orly and Maria.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I mean,
That's something else. That's a work of art.
I don't even necessarily want to ruin it. It looks
Because it's,
perfect.
take a picture of it first.
Don't be scared. Don't be scared.
So, Mark, this is your favorite way to serve dinner for breakfast, and you know we're making steak and eggs, but this isn't your mama's steak and eggs. This is such an elevated version of a steak and eggs dish.
We tried to turn it up a little bit.
You turn it way up.
We tried to start off with a little bit of filet mignon.
Okay.
Wrap it with the applewood smoked bacon, give it a little extra flavor in there. And we make a classic poached egg, and then we take a classic Hollandaise. We turn it up a little bit with some smoked jalapeno Hollandaise on there, which is obviously a Chipotle Hollandaise. And we finish with a little bit of cilantro. It's delicious.
This is so fancy.
Good morning.
I mean, good morning's
He's already going
right.
at it.
Wow. Too bad Father's Day just passed because this would have been a perfect meal for Father's Day. So it starts with the perfectly cooked steak, which we have over there. How do you cook a perfect filet mignon?
First, you got to get your cast iron pan or a non-stick skillet. Get
Okay.
those, get it nice and hot. Add a little bit of oil into it. Get that to a light smoke, and then you're going to get the filet mignon seasoned with the kosher salt and coarse pepper on both sides.
Okay.
And add it in there. You don't want to move it around too much. You want to get that nice char, get that nice sear on there to lock in that flavor.
For how long?
For approximately 4 to 5 minutes.
4 to 5 minutes on each side.
On each side, yes.
Okay, and you've wrapped that with some beautiful bacon that you had already par-cooked in the oven.
Yes,
Oh my God.
exactly. So you want to, in order to get it extra crispy like that, because you don't want to be eating the raw bacon, you want it nice and crispy to wrap around your fillets. Par cook it for about 2 minutes in your oven, about 350 to 400 degrees, just to kind of loosen it up. And it actually makes it easier to wrap around the fillet before you secure it with a wooden skewer.
And then you finish cooking it on the skillet.
And then you finish cooking it on the skillet.
Okay, so we're gonna let those rest for a minute. And we've also made the perfect poached egg. So making poached eggs can be kind of tricky, but you have some tips.
Wait, absolutely. With poaching an egg, you want to get your water to about 190 degrees.
Okay.
Okay, and this is for a perfect over easy egg. all
Okay.
right? So 190 degrees for your perfect over easy egg.
is that just a light boil then?
Yes.
It's not like a rolling for maybe people who don't use a thermometer?
Yeah, exactly. So
Okay.
you want it to just be about a simmer. So
Okay.
if it's a rumbling boil, you're gonna put your egg in there, the eggs gonna go all over the pot. You're not gonna have a good poached egg.
So not even a boil, just simmering.
Yeah,
Okay.
simmer about 185 to 190. And
Okay.
like she said, if you don't have a thermometer, you just kind of a nice simmer. So
Okay.
with you want to start off with your egg. You want to put it in a dish because it's a disaster. If you just take the egg and crack it on the side of the pan and drop it in there, it's a disaster.
It'll just break.
all over the place. You're not gonna have a beautiful poached egg like we have on top of our fillet.
So it's about sliding it in that simmering water.
Put it in a nice little small bowl, and you're just gonna slide it right in the water gently and calmly.
But you also use some vinegar, use some acid to help it along.
That's kind of an old classic tip. For, if you're poaching 2 or 3 eggs in a small pot of water, you're gonna add about 2 teaspoons to a tablespoon of vinegar, just to kind of tighten up the egg a little bit. It keeps it firm.
How do you feel about making the whirlpool?
It's a little dangerous, If you want to practice and try, you can practice and try, but I would say this is the most simple, kind of consistent, safe way to do it if you're at home cooking for your family. It makes it a lot easier.
Okay, and if you want them to tighten up even more and firm up a little more, you just let them sit and they'll continue to cook.
Yes, so 2 minutes is about a perfect over easy. I would leave it in there for another 30 seconds to 45 seconds to get up to like an over medium.
Okay.
And then when you pull it out, just let it sit at the room temperature and it'll slowly kind of turn into that creamy custard kind of inside that you're looking for.
And speaking of creamy custard, you are going to make us the creamiest custard Chipotle Hollandaise sauce that anyone will ever taste in their life. And how do we do
Get
that?
that started, yeah.
Got a little
absolutely.
bite, I'll tell you that.
That's the
Chipotle.
Chipotle in there.
I've never seen Orly this happy.
Oh my
She hasn't said a word.
No, I can't.
It's almost gone already.
Absolutely incredible. Yeah,
Impressive. Very.
I'm not shy.
So you start off we're going to start off with the classic Hollandaise. You're going to take 2 egg yolks. You're going to get them going over the pan right here.
This is so cool. Watch this. It's over a
And
double boiler.
Make sure you got a towel in case the pot gets a little too, or the bowl gets a little too hot. And you really just do it over a double boiler. And you're whisking pretty vigorously. You don't want to stop, because if you stop, that heat is going to actually scramble the eggs. And, you're not going to, then you have scrambled eggs. You're not going to have that creamy, custardy Hollandaise sauce that you like.
Okay.
And right now you're incorporating a little bit of air into it, so it's getting it fluffy. And you want to, when you make Hollandaise, you want to use it right away. You don't want to make it, let it sit around for an hour or 2. You want to make it and use it within the next 20 minutes.
Okay.
So as we're whisking, just want to kind of lightly thicken it up a little bit.
You got to take it off to do that?
Yeah, well, I got it a little too hot. So what we'll do is, if you want to help me, that's
You want me to help you pour this
just
in?
slowly drizzle that in.
So this is,
Oh, that's perfect.
oh my gosh, this
That's
is
perfect.
just softened butter.
Yep, and you're adding it slowly. This is just soften the whole butter, and you're adding it slowly. That way you don't break the sauce. If you dump the whole thing in there right now, it would just kind of separate, and you'd have a cold, broken sauce.
Nobody
This-
wants a cold broken sauce.
Nobody wants a cold, broken sauce.
What does broken mean?
It's separated, so you'll have the butter separating and chunky. You'll have some
got
cooked
it.
eggs in there.
No.
So I think that's about good.
Going.
We'll
There
do
we go.
that.
And then
Perfect.
you'll take it off the heat. Gosh, look at that.
You take it off
it off
the
the
heat.
heat.
A metal bowl like that, or can you use like a glass? Anything that's like heat.
I would recommend a stainless steel bowl, but
Okay.
you could do it with a glass bowl. You're just getting that heat. And if you notice, we did it over water, so that's going to give you more of that indirect heat.
Okay.
And that way, it doesn't burn or scramble
Use
the
the
eggs.
same pot that you just poached the eggs in.
That's right.
Exactly. Use the exact same water.
So then you
So
add.
now we're just going to add our ingredients to give it a little bit of a flavor. Classic Hollandaise. We'll have a little bit of a Tabasco in there.
Okay, just a tiny little kick.
A little teaspoon of Tabasco, some white pepper,
Nice.
a little cayenne to kick it up a little bit. Here's
Okay. There you go. Put that on. There's chef's trick.
Let's stop moving around so much. We'll add our cayenne.
Okay.
And then we'll do a little oyster.
And
Get
then.
it through. We'll finish it up with a little bit of lemon juice.
And now that would be a classic hollandaise.
That's pretty much the classic Hollandaise.
But there's nothing classic about
make this.
your dish, Mark.
Let's fold these in a little bit.
So this is the Chipotle paste.
This is what our camera's talking about. Got a little kick to it. So we'll add a little Chipotle paste in there.
I'll get that out
Thank
for
you
you.
very much.
You are very welcome. Here you go. Oh my gosh.
Perfect. And last but not least, our cilantro. That brings a little freshness to the dish, a little crispness to the flavor.
This really is
Yeah, and now
such
we got our
beautiful.
Chipotle Hollandaise. We'll take that. I guess
And then we build.
set this over here.
I'll
which
take
is
it for you.
fine.
I'll
Thank
bust
you
your kitchen,
very
don't you
much.
worry.
I love that. Yeah, and then we'll build the plate. So get your bacon wrap fillets. We have cooked perfectly over here. Nice and crisp bacon.
As we're doing that, I'd love you to talk us through, helping us choose the perfect steak. What are we looking for when we're going to bring home some steaks?
You're looking for those.
Yeah.
And when I was picking those out, what you're honestly looking for is the marbling, So the marbling is kind of the first. And you'll see this marbling here, evenly distributed. That fat's going to bring out the richness and the flavor for your ribeye. Obviously, the filet mignons aren't going to have as much because that's the more tender steak. That's why it's obviously a big popular. Look at this.
How am I doing, chef?
You're doing amazing.
Okay.
Most glamorous sous chef you
Yes,
ever have.
I'm
Right?
telling
I'm your
you.
apprentice today.
Fun to work with.
There you go. Oh, thank you.
So this actually has a good amount of marbling in it for a filet mignon. So this will have that nice, robust flavor. And what you want to do is get a nice char on the outside of those and cook them perfectly. But when you're picking them, is first the marbling, and then you're looking for that nice beet red color and the firmness. I'm not going to start poking the meat right now, but if you poke it, it should have a nice bounce back to it. And that way, it hasn't been sitting on the shelf for a few days. It's nice and fresh. And that's
All
what
right.
you're always looking for.
I am going to let you do the honors here at the
Perfect.
Hollandaise.
Thank you very much.
I didn't like mine at all.
I
I
can-
did it orally. And
I think we did all right.
Oh, man, oh, man.
So bacon wrapped filet mignons, perfectly poached egg on top, and then we're just going to take it and finish it off with a little bit of smoked jalapeno or Chipotle Hollandaise.
You all do a great job at Fleming's.
Thank you very
I'm
much.
always so impressed with your
You guys get to have a
steaks and
little
just
bite
everything
now.
on the
I know you're
menu.
gonna finish it off
Garnish
with a
on
little-
there to take it up a little kick.
Look at that.
Yeah, why not?
Full recipe, everybody. Go to hallmarkchannel.com.